Alright, I don't know what this opening clip is, but we're just gonna fuck with it, dude. And my stream deck's not working either, so that's nice.
It's just the passion. I love passion. I love the passion. And whether you boo me, you hate me, or you love me, I enjoy that passion. You know, entertain everyone. That's what I'm here to do. Makes me feel like a gladiator.
I can't play anymore because there's music, dude. There's music. At least that button works. My stream deck is being a piece of baloney today. None of the buttons are working. Welcome to the DynamiteGizmo podcast, everyone. Episode 268. 268 people. I gotta be quiet. I gotta be real quiet. Because there's folks fucking around in here. Here's today's card. It's tradition around here to show you the card, but it's not tradition to show it's on the card, but find out anyway because we'll talk about it. We have not a lot to get into. Okay? The first thing I want to start with is the fight prediction sheets. I updated it again. I updated it once to make it a little better, and then I updated it completely to make it completely unique and brand new and way easier to understand and use to anybody who doesn't even know what the heck they're looking at. Okay? Let me just do a quick zoom in here. Let's do 50%. Nope, let's do 55. That's perfect. Okay, let me switch this over. Boom. Let me do full monitor. Boom. This is the fight prediction sheet. Look how clean and fucking nice this looks. Oh my god. What is this sheet, you're asking yourselves? What is this? You can use this sheet to predict fights. And it can be used by anybody. Whether you're a hardcore fan or just a casual checking in. It's got everything you need. Let's take a look here. So if we zoom right in, let's just zoom in. Let's zoom into Navajo and Bellato. Stirling and Bellato, okay? Can you see that? It's got the weight class, their names, their fight betting odds, the number in which the fight happens, pictures of both fighters, their nicknames, their flags, their fight record, and their rank. All right here. Okay, and you just check off vote for the fighter you want to vote for everything, for prelims, early prelims, and main card. And then at the end, when the fights are over, you check off who won here. If you got it correct, you check off the star. And then bada boom, bada bing, at the very end of the night, when everything's all said and done, let me just switch over here. You write your score out of 18 right at the bottom. Isn't that crazy? Pretty cool, right? I think this looks better than anything, than the old ones that I used to make. I could show you the old ones, but there's no point. This is the new format. This is the way it's going to be forever now. This is what it is. And this is what I like. And I can't wait to actually utilize it. Anyway, we're going to talk about Gamrot stepping in place of Fiziev. And then we're going to talk about Navajo Stirling, because I like that guy. And then we're going to talk about Ulberg and Reyes, because they are also fighting on the main event this weekend, because UFC's finally back. It's been over a decade since we've got to watch UFC, and it's finally back. We've been waiting. I've been sitting here polishing my shoes, just wanting it to come back. And now we're finally seeing it for the 900th time in a row. Phone's at 69%. Everything's a go. Let me just have a sip of some creatine water. Ah, that's nice. That'll put hairs on your testicles. Now, as you probably heard, because I said it, and everyone else has said it, and it's already been announced, Fiziev is out. So who's in? Well, I initially thought it was going to be either Moicano, I thought maybe Hooker, I thought maybe BSD. Even Diego Lopez was floating around the mix, but it turns out Mateusz Gamrot is taking the throne. And he's fired up. And he's very fired up. I've got a clip of him finding out the second he found out that he was getting the shot against Charles Oliveira. He was so stoked and happy. Let's watch it together. He's happy. He's happy, boy. Look, he spilt all over the place. God, that must feel good. Or he's like a gorilla. Whoa, that is a Cybertruck. I knew that was a Cybertruck. I was going to ask, and it is.
Whoa! Oh, yeah! Kurwa!
Is that it? I never actually watched this full clip. I never got to the Cybertruck part.
Ja pierdolę. Oh!
Okay, I guess that's it, right? We don't need to see any more. It's not ideal switching between camera and monitor, having to use the buttons within OBS. Stream Deck. Why are you doing this to me? Now, I even thought maybe they would consider Patty, but then I was like, no. They can't have Patty. They're saving Patty for something big. I never really believed it. It was a thought that came into my mind when I was looking through the rankings, and I was like, maybe they're not going to do Patty. But Gamrot was always in the back of my mind as the one who was most likely going to at least get a call. Though I was kind of hoping for either Moicano, Hooker, or BSD. And obviously Diego Lopez would be great if he went up a weight class. But he just fought. I don't know if I wanted to see him again. He's got the momentum. But I feel like BSD would have been good. Hooker would have been good. We haven't seen Hooker in I don't know how long. And Moicano made a lot of sense because it would have been in Brazil. And at first I wasn't sold on the Gamrot matchup. I keep getting text messages from Walmart. At first I wasn't sold on the Gamrot matchup. But then I remembered the history between Oliveira and Gamrot, and the fact that they share similar styles. Now, when I look at it and think about it, I think this pairing might actually be better, more exciting, more of an exciting fight than Fiziev would have been. And leading up to it, there was talk that Oliveira would be avoiding Gamrot. Okay? Oliveira himself was saying that he didn't feel like he needed or wanted this matchup, I should say. And where's that at? I've got all my tabs all backwards. Here it is. Oh, I got to switch manually. He said, I was focused on a guy who comes from a striking background with 2 weeks left until the fight. I have to change my whole game plan. It's very complicated. I don't want to be taken off the card, asked for this card. I've been training like crazy for it. Gamrot is a good matchup for me, in a sense, because he's a wrestler/grappler. But it's completely different from the style I've been training for the last month or two. It's about understanding the game planning. So it seemed as though, for a little bit there, that he was just ducking Gamrot. He didn't want Gamrot. Gamrot was in, but he wasn't. Now, where are we here? Gamrot, if we go back in history, Gamrot's been calling for this fight for a while. Once after beating Arman Tsarukyan in 2022, again after Jalen Turner in 2023. Whenever Charles had a fight canceled and the door cracked open, Gamrot would call him out. And Oliveira never really responded, so fans speculated, was Gamrot the stylistic threat that Charles never wanted. Whether that was even true or not, here we are. The UFC is unpredictable, my friend. Matchups we think we will never get happen suddenly. They materialize when someone else drops out. And this happens all the time. And when it comes to who's going to win this one, well, this one's a tough call. Oliveira still holds the record for the most submission wins in UFC history. But where's he at right now? He's 35. He's been in the UFC since 2010. Clearly in the last stages, the last legs of his career. And I'm not sure Fiziev would have beaten him. But I honestly feel like this could have been a shoo-in, or this could be a shoo-in, for Gamrot. I mean, Oliveira can still take people down, but even if he gets Gamrot there, it's not the same advantage as it would have been against Fiziev. Everyone talks about Gamrot's grappling, and he is legit, but most of his wins come by decision. When you actually look at his fight record, 48% of his wins are by decision, 32% are by KO, and only 20% are by submission. And outside the UFC, he's had just 2 grappling matches. One was a draw, and one was a loss. Career subs, 3 total. 2 of those were in the UFC. I should also mention that Dillon Danis was wanting this fight against Oliveira too at some point. Do I have that here? I don't know if I have that saved. Yes, I do. I do have it. Here it is. What does it say here? Who the funk cares about Mateusz Gamrot? If Charles Oliveira wants another shot at a world championship, I'll put my belt on the line on short notice. But there's one stipulation. When I win, I want Islam next. This guy's crazy, dude. I'll give Dillon Danis props for calling people out. He calls out everybody, dude. Calls out everybody. But there's no fucking way any of this shit's gonna happen. All right? Yeah, it's great that he has the fucking a belt in Misfits, but like, what is that? Who cares about that? That doesn't matter. That doesn't give you any leverage. You can't use that for anything. Who are we talking about here? Oh yeah, Mateusz Gamrot. His record is 25-3-0, with all 3 losses coming inside the UFC. And they were to Dan Hooker, Beneil Dariush, and Guram Kutateladze. On his debut, mind you. And the Hooker Kutateladze losses were split decisions. They weren't total blowouts. They weren't one-sided. They were split decisions. So I don't know why I was misunderestimating Gamrot before this matchup came about. He's seriously skilled. And looking at him now, he deserves that top 5 lightweight spot. And a title shot might not be that far off. What do y'all think? When this matchup happens, when this fight happens, first off, are you more excited about this matchup than you were about the Fiziev matchup? And secondly, do you think Gamrot's going to absolutely cream Charlie Olives, as Dan Hooker likes to call him? And by the way, Dan Hooker has been calling out Charlie Olives for a little bit now too. And I only remember that because he calls him Charlie Olives. No one else calls him Charlie Olives except for Dan Hooker. So I would love to see a time in the future where Dan Hooker went up against Charlie Olives, or even BSD, or even Moicano. But we finally get that Gamrot matchup, which is so nice. I can't tell you how hungry I am right now. I've never been more hungry in all my life. Oh, I said the trigger word. Dogs have trigger words, and that is one of them. Let's move on to Navajo Stirling. This is going to be a quick podcast. It's a quick zippity doo dah through thaw podcast. I want to change the format of this podcast and have more. It's becoming mundane for me. I'm doing the same thing over and over again, and I need to change it up, and I will change it up. I'm not going to stop. You can't stop. You got to keep the momentum going, but I got to change it up a bit. Let's move on to Navajo Stirling. Besides the fact that I'm feeling like the podcast is mundane and I need to change it up, I've got a problem elsewhere. And it's one every newcomer to MMA eventually runs into. Now, I'm not brand new. I've been following the sport consistently for about 2 years and have been a casual fan since probably 2016, 2015, 2014, 2013. But to a hardcore fan, yeah, I'm still a rookie, and I don't care. Call me that. I like it. But lately, though, things are starting to click a little more every day. I'm spotting the trends, seeing how storylines unfold, and realizing how quickly a can't-miss prospect can look untouchable in one fight and then very human in the next. This weekend, UFC is finally back. Thank fuck. I'll say it again. Thank fuck. And one of the fighters on the card is a guy I'd normally hype with full confidence. And don't get me wrong, I still believe in him, and I still will, but I've learned not to pin all my hopes on a rising prospect, especially this year. Over and over, we've seen how fast momentum can flip. The fighter I'm talking about, specifically, is Navajo Stirling. Heard of him? Great fighter, great guy, straight out of Auckland, New Zealand, undefeated, 7-0, won his Contender Series bout, then took his first 2 UFC fights cleanly, with a win, I should say. But this is the tipping point. The stage of a career where, if a loss is coming, it usually shows up right about meow. But here's the twist. Navajo isn't facing a grizzled vet or some nightmare matchup. No. He's meeting Rudolfo Bellato, who, not long ago, looked like a can't-miss prospect himself. Let's rewind Bellato's UFC story a bit, shall we? Now, he lost his first Contender Series fight to Vitor Petrino in 2022, then grabbed the LFA light heavyweight belt, which earned him another contender shot, and he won that one and signed with the UFC. In his debut against Ihor Portiera, he bagged a Fight of the Night bonus and a solid win. Then this is where things got a little squirrely for the Bellato. Next was a booking with Umar Sy. It was scrapped after Bellato got hurt. He fought Jimmy Crute at UFC 312, and it ended in a draw. Now, okay, I know what you're saying. That's not that squirrely, but we're not there yet. It's coming right now. Here's where it really takes a turn. On May 17th this year, Bellato was set to fight Paul Craig at the Apex. Moments before the walkouts, the fight got canceled for a mysterious medical issue. Fans started guessing the flu. Was it staph or some other shit? Was it AIDS? As MMA Guru said, was it AIDS? No. Well, now we do know. Bellato later explained, and here's the statement. I've got it right here. Where is it? Here it is. Let me, Oh, okay. I thought it was in a different language. No, it's in English. This was a story that he posted on his Instaslam. And it says, I never thought that herpes would take me out of a fight, I'm sorry, all of you guys, but it's something that's out of our control. I'll have more news soon. It was herpes. Now, we've talked about this in the past. We talked about it when it happened. I don't need to bring it up again, but for those who didn't know, yeah, it was herpes. The boy had herpes. And you think it would end there, but no, it gets a little stranger. They rebooked the Paul Craig fight. No herpes this time. And he actually made it to the cage. But at 4 minutes and 59 seconds of round 1, literally 1 second before the horn, Craig landed what was ruled as an accidental illegal upkick. Bellato toppled backwards as if he was knocked out cold. Except on the way down, he threw his arms up like, "Hey, ref, that's illegal." It was like he was protesting, you know? He put his arms up like, "Hey." Then he shut his eyes, and he fell down and laid there. And seconds later, he woke up and scrambled away as if he just came out of a nightmare. The whole thing looks sketchy, like a fake knockout. I have the clip here. I cannot find the other perfect angle. There is a really good angle where you can see it, but I can't find it. But you can at least catch a glimpse of it in this clip here. Let me switch back over. See, illegal upkick comes right now, and you can kind of see his arms up in protest as he's falling back. He's pretending to be knocked out. Or maybe it does show the... Okay, it does show the angle. See that? Pretends to be knocked out, and it doesn't show the rest of it, but he gets back. He scrambles back up to his feet. He's a little scramble boy. Now, Bellato swears that he didn't fake it. Craig thought he did. Anthony Smith, who was an analyst that night, thought he did, but who really knows? What we do know is that Bellato's back, and he's facing Navajo, and it's a real chance for Bellato to win fans back, and for Navajo to prove he is actually the real deal. And like I said at the start, I'm trying not to get too hyped on prospects, but looking at this matchup, even though this would be the tipping point in which an upcoming prospect may in fact lose, I honestly think Navajo's got this one. But what do you think? Does Navajo take it or does Bellato take it? I think Navajo could have been up against anybody, but he's up against Bellato. And since Bellato had this whole situation leading up to this, it really makes me think Navajo's going to fucking wipe the floor with Bellato no matter what. I don't think Bellato stands a goddamn chance. I don't think Bellato stands a goddamn chance. Now, I was going to talk about Ulberg and Reyes, but I don't have much to say. I really don't. We know... Well, let me just say the little bit that I do have to say. Obviously, I'm going for Reyes. I'm not going to go for Ulberg. That's crazy, okay? And if you're going for Ulberg, good for you. Okay, good for you. But I'm not going to go for Ulberg. Why would I go for Ulberg? I'm not a Ulberger, as he calls his fans, the Ulbergers. I'm a hot dog kind of guy. All right? Which means I like Reyes. And you know what? Reyes has a very nice looking fight record. All right? I was looking at it the other day leading up to this podcast. And why don't we take a look at it together? It's really clean. It's like win, 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 win. He's only got 4 losses, and they're all in this clump here. And then it's back to a winning streak. It's so clean. You usually don't see that. Usually it's like win, loss, 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 win, win, loss. It's all over the place. Reyes, clean tapology sheet. I like it a lot. 4 losses in a row, then back to 3 wins. And the majority of his wins come in round 1 or round 2, but they're mostly round 1, which is nice. He's a knockout boy. He likes to knock guys out. And I just often wonder if the decision against Jon Jones actually went in favor of Reyes, like we all thought it was supposed to, would he still have a clean all-win record? Or would it have been inevitable for him to lose? Like, let's say he did actually win that fight against Jon Jones. And then he went and fought Jan Blachowicz to defend the title. Would he have lost to Jan Blachowicz, or would he have had more confidence going into that fight? Now imagine if he did win to Jan Blachowicz and got the vacant lightweight title. That would have been nice, wouldn't it? But things just don't happen that way. It's being a UFC fighter is crazy, man. Imagine being in Reyes' shoes. You got such a good record, undefeated. You finally get your chance to go up against Jon Jones for the title, and you fucking cream him. Okay? You get to the end of the fight and you think to yourself, I for sure won this. There's no way I didn't win this. And then it goes to the judges' scorecards, and they put it in favor of Jon Jones. Wow. And then you lose again and again and again. Oh, man. But then you get your momentum back and you get 3 wins in a row. Dude, you got to go for Reyes on this one. Okay? Because he has to come back. He has to come back. And let's just be hopeful that Alex Pereira can beat Magomed Ankalaev. Okay? And then Alex gets that belt back, and then Yuri gets another shot at that title, and then Yuri gets the title, and then Alex. But here's the thing. If Dominick Reyes has to go up against Alex or Yuri, I'm not going to want Dominick Reyes to win. I would love to see Dominick Reyes get the belt at one point, but not as long as Yuri or Alex have it. If Yuri or Alex have the belt, I want them to keep it. I don't want someone taking it from them. All right? But if anyone's going to take it from them, I wouldn't mind it being Dominick Reyes. Okay? I wouldn't mind it being Dominick Reyes. But the thing is, this matchup between Ulberg and Reyes is a tricky matchup. Because Ulberg is damn good. And he's almost completely undefeated. The crazy thing is, Ulberg only lost once. And that was in his UFC debut. And to all the people to lose it to, it was fucking Kennedy Zekukwu. I don't know how to say his name. You know who I'm talking about. Big black guy. I'll just show you a picture of him. Oh! I just fucked everything up. Okay, let me show you. Whoa, shit. Okay, let me show you a picture of this guy. There we go. There he is. Not Walter Walker. This guy. Okay, you know him. You've seen this guy. I mean, he's good. But you wouldn't think he'd be good enough to beat Carlos Ulberg. But he did. Beat him on his debut. Whoops, my notes are gone. But the thing is, okay, Ulberg lost to Kennedy, and then he hasn't lost since. But Ulberg hasn't fought the guys that Reyes has. He hasn't fought to nearly anywhere close to the extent, to the level of fighters that Reyes has. Ulberg fought a bunch of nobodies. Like, let's look at Carlos Ulberg's Tapology, okay? Let's look at it together. All right, so he joins the UFC in 2021, loses to Kennedy. Then he has a win to this Fabio guy, Tafon, Nikele, Ihor, Don Wuzhong, Alonzo Menfield, okay. Volkan Odzmir, yeah, and then Jan Blahova. Okay, so there's a couple names, all right? But compared to Reyes, look at who Reyes has had. Chris Weidman, John Jones, Jan Blachowicz, Yuri Prohaska, Ryan Spann, Dustin Jacoby, Anthony Smick, Nikita Krylov. Like, okay. Like, on a completely different level, Reyes is. And that is a huge friggin' factor. Huge compared to Ulberg. But if Ulberg goes in there and he beats Reyes, what's left for Reyes? He's got to build his fucking momentum back up again. It's tough, man. It's tough being in the UFC. Unless you can just go out there and be Ilia Topuria. But if Ilia Topuria keeps his strange, eerie career going in the path of the same light of Conor McGregor, he doesn't have much time left. He's going to end up doing a boxing match. He's going to lose, and he's going to come back to the UFC and keep losing, and then all his hype's going to fade away. If only Ilia Topuria had the same kind of impact on the mic that Conor McGregor had, things could go better for him. But he doesn't. He tries, but he's not great at all. Okay, we're frozen. Looks like we're still recording. Oh, we're definitely frozen. Ooh, just audio. Just audio at this point. Why'd that happen? We're back. Hello. Rock and roll, baby. Okay. Anyway, that's it. That's really it for this episode anyway. It was a quick one. We're gonna have more. I want to spend the weekend and figure out how to make this podcast more appealing, more interesting, and I think I have some ideas. So anyway, you want to see those ideas, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell right fucking now, okay? Bye-bye.